All right, let's see if we can make this work. We're gonna do the inch thing. And the inch thing goes like this. On your graph paper, in your little packet, I want you to draw a line 16 squares long. 16 squares long means we're going to make this inch down to the 16ths. Now, it won't be actual size probably. No, it's not. On your paper, it's going to be 4 times as long because we're using 1/4 inch graph paper. So, once you have that line drawn, the start of the inch, I want you to draw a line down 5 squares. Same thing over here. Come down 5 squares. And the reason for that is as we go through making this inch, each line has its own designation. The 1/2 inch line in the middle here will come down 4 squares. The 1/4, the 3/4, and the 1/4 inch lines will come down 3 squares. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1 square for the 16ths. So right now we have this thing 16 squares long. 16 square, you probably can't even see this, it's too far away, but we'll see if this works. If it doesn't, then whatever, we'll redo. So what we want to try to do here is give a value. At the start of anything, what value does this line represent? So if you know a little bit about math, this is the same thing as an XY graph, XYZ graph. So really it has a value of 0. Over here we're going to give it a value of 1, but it's way bigger than an inch. Okay, so let's come over here. We're going to use a math principle called division. We're going to divide this inch in 2. Okay, it's about right there. On your paper, you can count over 8 squares. I'm going to count down 4 relative, these being longer, okay? So count over 8 and 8, so we have 2 8s, that makes a 16 for the whole thing. Now, you'll notice that when we divided this inch in half, we got 2 halves. First half and second half. Extremely important. Extremely important, because everybody thinks that when you divide something in half, you get half of it. But in Woodshop, you'll get 2 pieces. Remember that. So now we're ready to move on down. We're going to divide the first half in half. Come down 3 squares. Second half in half. Come down 3 squares. So this is called a half. This one's the second half. This is the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and then over here, fourth quarter. You get that. Now, 1/8 inch, come over 2 squares, 2 in between. This is going to be the first 1/8, second 1/8, third 1/8. This one's the fourth 1/8, 5 8s, 6 8s, 7 8s. And over here, this is 8 over 8. So 8 8 8s. 8 8s. We can go one more size down, and we're just going to come down 1 square, 1 square, 1 square. Like that. But you'll notice that each one of the designations, when they set by themselves, 1/4 and 3/4, this is also a 1/4, but it's also a half. This is 2 quarters. And you need to understand all that, because when you're working in construction, they'll probably work to the 1/8 of an inch on cutting material, or close to it. It can be exact also. But they'll go, you know, cut it 14 and 3/8, or they'll just say 14 and 3. So that's why you have to know these things. Anyway, so this is the first 16th, second, third, 4th, 5th, 16th, 6th, 16ths. See how that reduces? 7, 16ths, 8. This is 9, 16ths, 10. 16ths is not the lowest common yet, but hasn't been reduced all the way down because 5/8 is. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then over here 16 over 16 is the same thing as 1. But you need to understand that 8/16 is also a half. That's pretty simple. Okay, but that's how this works, and that's how it was set up. So I want you guys to copy this down. I'm going to give you a kind of a close-up view of it. Let's see what we can do here. Let me frame that in. Perfect. Just let that run a little bit, and you're going to do that on your graph paper. Okay, you need to know what all those little call outs are, all that kind of stuff. Cool. All right.